live. We're live.
We are.
Are you live? I'm live.
I'm live. I'm always
All right, good. So, congrats, Abs by Andy, kicking ass.
Oh, big time.
So, yeah, that's absbyandy.com, HTTP and all that double slash stuff, but absbyandy.com, kicking ass online, how to acquire and maintain year-round six-pack, as well as the realities of the lifestyle that requires that. So that's a lot to say.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, for sure. You're not just going to, you're not going to out-exercise
a bad diet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. So is people coming on board? Hopefully we're getting people coming on board. We're being directed to move the hell back because you're too tall.
No.
Yeah, we're good?
We're good?
We're good?
These are numbers, man.
Oh, okay. I don't know what you're doing. We're getting all kinds of hand signals over here, folks. We're too dumb to translate, so I don't speak that language. So, are we gathering people? We can get on with it. So, hopefully, people, you're tuning in to the Coach and Andy show. You know why you're here. And so, we're here to answer your questions, maybe do some demos, things like that. So, we're just waiting for the audience to build a little bit. And then we're going to show you a few things, talk about a few things. Anything on your mind, buddy?
Nothing in particular right now. I was hoping maybe you had some stuff that came across your desk this week.
I got a few things. I have to save some for breakfast with the coach on Sunday, of course. Okay. Otherwise, I'm just staring blankly at the screen. So hopefully people will come in and ask us some stuff. But I guess one is just a comment in general. And maybe I'm old, but this is something that I noticed even back in my day when I was, in the magazines and all that stuff. One of the things that bothered me is the macho bullshit attitude of guys in the gym. I don't get this whole sort of bad boy, macho crap, I'm too big to look at you kind of presentation of someone's self. I mean, there's nothing in the gym that should prevent anyone from being friendly to other people. So, walking around with a hood over your head like you're some kind of gangster and yelling and screaming, grimacing at everyone who walks anywhere near you. What is that? It's a commercial gym. Everyone pays the same gym membership amount. And if you are walking around representing the fitness industry, do it with some class, folks. Do it with some dignity. All right? Do it with some inviting people in rather than pushing them away. There's way too many people that live up to the stereotypes expected of people with good physiques. So be the people that stand out and do the opposite. Say hello to everyone that comes across. If you look like Andy or how I used to look, there's a responsibility, or should be a responsibility, that goes with that. And for some people, they're not capable of anything more than that. But if you are, then let's kill the worthless macho, bad boy gangster kind of, I'm just too big to be friendly, kind of thing. And that's never made sense to me, even when I was that size. I always considered myself an ambassador to what I was doing. So. Reach out and touch someone. You attract people. Anyway, you attract more flies with honey than you do with sourness. So that's just something to keep in mind while we're building an audience. If you're out there, folks, let us know with some thumbs and hearts and all that, because Facebook likes it. And we like when Facebook likes it because it gives us a bigger reach. And, of course, already, since we've been posting, there's been more than a few people copying our crap and presenting it as their own on their own. We won't get into names and stuff. But
you're probably pretty used to that by now.
I'm used to it, but it
shouldn't be. But you are.
Listen, folks, copying other people's slogans and other people's phrases and other people's words and outright copying their actual work is a real douchey move. So if you're going to do that, you're gonna get caught. I know it works. There's other people.
Cite your sources.
There's other people making a living off of representing my work as their own. So be it, but you're a douche. All right. So let's get on with talking about someone who's been in the industry for 4 decades. I'm allowed to say that. I never disrespected my mentors of Bill Pearl or Fred Hatfield. Never ever misrepresented or disrespected them. So. Enough said on that. Any questions or comments out there, Brian?
No.
Nothing. People are just staring in amazement at what they're looking at. So, take all this in. And Andy, too, of course. Yeah, right. Okay. So, we got a couple exercises for you, folks. I want to show you some tweaks you can do after 50. A lot of the times we were talking off camera, people at 50 or over 50 develop chronic issues from past training or whatever, right? Carpal tunnel syndrome from, you know, it builds up as you age, and then people get the mistaken notion, well, I can't squat anymore, I can't do this movement anymore, I can't do that movement anymore, right? So he wants, what's the direction? Move closer.
Yeah.
This way.
It's going to work a little better. That's it. Thank you.
You probably just have to do it differently, right? Like, you might have to
and the idea is what we talk about a lot in the ABLE approach, and we've talked about online before, is to practice what we call Tweakology, right? Oftentimes it's not that you can't do the movement anymore, you just can't do it the way it used to be done, or the way your body used to do it. So a lot of the times gym equipment is set up, it's not ever going to consider the age of someone's joints. Manufacturers can't do that. But if you have a little knowledge of the industry, we can do that. So we're going to show you a couple things right now. The first is your standard one-arm dumbbell tricep extension. And Andy's young and mean and lean and all that stuff, so we'll do the variation that you'll see in the gym. Usually most of the benches fixed for this are straight up perpendicular, so you'll see Andy doing that. All right, so this is the variation, straight up and down, boom, boom. Yep, and you just want to turn to the back, Andy, so they can get another shot of that. Rather than having the cameraman move, folks, we're just going to get Andy to turn around here. So same shot, you're straight up and down. You'll see the feathering and the triceps there. You catching that, cameraman? I don't know if you can... oh, he's going to come over here after all. All right. So don't want to go too much, but again, notice the range of motion is for the tricep. He's not coming all the way down because that has nothing to do with keeping the tension on the tricep, okay? Good, that's good. Now, that is your general range and plane of motion for the one-arm dumbbell extension. However, someone like myself with advanced osteoarthritis in the shoulders is represented with what we call bony changes in the joint. I don't have that kind of range of motion. Does that mean I can no longer do the movement? No, it means I need to tweak how I do it. So watch. I just move the angle of the back support. All right, I move that closer down. Go ahead, Andy, show them. So this way, you'll be able to see. Maybe do the right. Oh, you can do whatever hand you want. Doesn't matter. So now the angle is farther back, and he can come down without that perpendicular stress on the shoulder joint. Come back here, Brian, and get the feather. And as you can see, the effect on the tricep is still exactly the same. Look at the cross striations. All right. So he's still working the tricep through an effective range and plane of motion. Good stuff. Good stuff. And all we did, folks, is we went from the standard variation that you're going to see in the gym, and we just went down, right? And we changed that plane of function, all right, so that would offset perpendicular stress on the AC joint. So for someone physique after 50, that becomes an important item to consider. So that's just one variation. There's very, very many, and we'll show you in future episodes or exercise clips or hard gainer solution. Or did it feel any different to you?
Yeah, you could definitely feel that there was less stress on the shoulder joint doing it with the back support. Further back for sure. Less stress.
But the tricep is still...
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, you never want to go down too low. I actually used to do, I used to go too far down until you pointed out one day at the gym. So now I'm doing a shorter range of motion and actually hitting the tricep.
Not a shorter range of motion for the tricep,
no,
for the movement.
Yeah, for the movement, yeah.
So first of all, we showed you how to do the movement right. Train the muscle, not the movement. And then secondly, I showed you how to practice Tweakology if you're over 50 to protect that shoulder joint, okay? It's much more effective to practice prevention than it is to have to practice cure. So again, that's just a simple example of a simple exercise we thought we'd give to you. If you want to go back to your stationary position there, Brian, any questions or comments coming in?
Well, a few people showing up that I recognize some names. It's nice to see you all tuning in.
Good. Well, we need new blood, so spread the word, folks. But we're always happy to have people back. That means we're doing something that's worth considering. So, but hit the share button for sure. Next exercise we'll do is just a lying cross chest tricep extension. So just another simple variation. And again, you're probably going to have to move again, can't remember. That's all right.
That's what I'm paid to do.
This angle where I am is perfect. But anyway, lying cross chest, it's the same motion in a different plane, right? So over here, Brian.
Yeah, I'll get it.
So he's going across chest, just like the name sounds. You see the inside of the tricep working, inner head. Then you'll see the outer head. All right, and then you'll see the lateral head right there. And look at the cross striations. A very underused, underappreciated movement. Boom. Boom. Now for physique after 50, the way I alter it is I can't go cross chest because it's too much stress on my shoulder joint. So I move the elbow out a little and I come further down this plane more. Yeah, just there you go. And I'm able to come up, not quite so much. You still want that elbow high. So there you go. So it's still a cross chest without the cross chest. That eases the stress on the shoulder joint. You can see his triceps are still working. So that's just another tweak, thank you, sir, of physique after 50. So that's one of the other things that you can actually do that will, if you're over 50, protect the joint, but still target the muscle you're thinking of targeting. And we've talked about that before, where people get older and they think, oh, because of my knees, I can't squat. Because of my lower back, I can't squat. Those kind of things. It's not necessarily true. You just can't squat and do those things the way you used to do them.
Absolutely.
If you practice Tweakology, you'll be able to do those things. Go ahead.
Steven's checked in. He wants to know your thoughts on chair dips for platinum members.
Chair dips are okay. It depends if you mean chair in a position of like these two support beams are. So you got a chair on each side and you're dipping between the chairs.
Or bench dips.
Or if you mean bench dips, just show them a bench dip.
Yep.
Yeah, get on the other side there. Oh, yeah, that way. Because Brian's right there. He can shoot your triceps. Or if you mean the bench dip. So go ahead, just. And of course, you can see that pumping up the triceps as well.
Big time.
Yeah. And even back here, he's all cross-striated, but that's okay. So it depends what you mean by that and how strong you are. A vertical dip variation is something, even in my prime, when I was 260 and under 10% body fat, hurt all the time.
Yeah,
I guess
a lot of load on your
it was a
shoulders
sign
and
of
elbows.
things to come for me with shoulder trouble. I was never good at them, so I was smart enough back then to do things very seldom, things that hurt.
Right.
So,
Hey,
I
Scott?
stayed away from that. Yeah.
Elazar must be tuned right in here. He or she is talking about shoulder pain when performing bicep curls, and your thoughts.
Well, if you got shoulder pain doing bicep curls, something's wrong.
Yeah, or using too much weight and swinging.
Yeah. Or you might not be warming up correctly. So warm-ups there's a warm-up video I have on YouTube, but you got to warm up upper body work with slow arm swings, not just that way, but cross body and then front. So you have to do affiliated number of arm swings and then arm swings this way horizontally to get a joint ready for work.
Yeah.
But there is absolutely no reason at all why shoulders should hurt doing bicep curls. Often what that means is someone's at the bottom of a movement, and instead of initiating that movement with the bicep, they don't even know, it's imperceptible, but they're kind of halfway shrugging up first because their shoulders are stronger. And you have to remember that your body, always wants to make work easier. And that's why we say a workout is as much mental as physical, because you've got to prevent that from happening. All right? So it's not about doing little 2-inch reps on the leg press, and it's not about throwing weights into position. It's about concentrating on keeping target muscle under tension. So,
and it doesn't mean doing reps super slow either, because a lot of people mistake those things.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to do it, purposely slow, and that's not good either. So
I once trained a person a long time ago, professional champion, and this person had wicked trap development. Traps like right from the ears, like a triangle house, right? Just boom, right down to the shoulders.
No neck.
But very crappy arm development. And the reason why was innervation training principle. This person wanted to do everything. The traps just wanted to take over. So bicep curls was a good example. When I noticed person doing bicep curl, it was always this first, and then curling up. So what? Right. And wasn't even aware of it until I pointed it out. So even doing like alternating dumbbell curls, it would go like just a subtle lift of the shoulder first to make the work easier, because your stronger body parts are going to want to take over. So you have to prevent that from happening by being locked in and tuned in to actually working the target muscles. So anything absolutely. You want to add there?
No, I think you pretty much hit everything. But yeah, just to feel, you know.
Sorry.
Blocking me out here. You want to feel reps. You don't want to count them, right? We've talked about that before. I mean, it's all about feeling reps, but that doesn't mean going super slow.
Yeah,
a lot of people, you tell them that, and then you don't want to artificially move a weight slow. That goes against every principle of exercise physiology, right? So.
And you can have a target number in your head playing in the background.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's no point, if you're supposed to get 12 to 15 reps, and that's all you're thinking about is 12 to 15 reps, and you're not thinking about the muscle under tension, then you're kind of missing the whole mind-body connection that you should be after. So,
pumping iron, that's what it's about.
Pumping iron.
Pumping iron.
I watched it again this week. I must have been crazy, bored out of my mind. So that's that. I'm going to show you another one now.
You know, Scott, you know, you're talking about fitness over 50. There's a few folks here saying that you're looking pretty good these days, and they'd like you to lose that shirt.
Yeah,
I know you're shy.
Got to stand beside this monstrosity of a physical specimen. Oh, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
Just pull a Hulk.
Pull a Hulk. No, it's my Aussie shirt. I can't do that one. So we'll show you another exercise, and maybe that'll come true. I appreciate the comments. If there actually was one, Brian's probably boosting my ego.
No.
So,
no. I'd never do that.
One of the other things we want to show you folks is a single arm preacher curl variation. All right. Every time, of course, you see a one arm preacher curl in the gym, you're going to assume it's done with a dumbbell. But you can get great effects by doing it with what's called a long bar. So even not necessarily an Olympic bar, but those curling bars you see in the gym.
Yeah, they're like half the size of an Olympic bar.
Yeah, half the size of an Olympic bar or whatever. I happen to have a body bar here. So why don't you just show them what I'm talking about. So by using a long bar for a single arm preacher curl, I'll get out of the picture here. Boom. And you can see the feathering and everything in Andy's arm. And that just changes, okay, the extensor arms, and it makes it harder to balance. All right?
Yeah, there's definitely more work with balancing this as opposed to a dumbbell, where there's, you know, no work at balancing it, right? So this just adds to it. And if you were actually using a barbell at the gym too, you know, it's plate loaded on each side. It's going to be.
And you can see, I'll get you to come in more, cameraman. Let me do a few. So your wish is my demand, folks. So I'm going to do just a few myself. Same idea, all right? Just come down, full range and plane of motion for the muscle that's working, not necessarily the movement. Okay, there should be feathering in the top of the bicep, all right? And you should see it squiggle on the way down. But
how's that for a 50-something?
56, folks, 56. So let's stay here, Brian. Get
okay.
Andy to do them again, and you can get a close-up here. But here's my model shot. There you go. So, yeah, throw them in there. And then just get them from the side, both sides, Brian.
You bet.
So, because that's what I want to point out. If you add weights to the end of the bar, you see now here at the origin point, insertion point of the bicep, the feathering, and then come around here, Brian.
And flex it up. Imagine like you're
flexing
your arm up. You're not just moving it mindlessly.
So now you see the difference between the biceps brachii, the brachioradialis. Okay, that's rip, folks. So that's just an example. That's good, Brian. You can go back to where you came from, damn it. So that's just an example, folks, of long bar, single arm preacher curl. So oftentimes, if you have the option that says dumbbell curl or whatever on your program, you have the option, try it. It feels different. It feels good. You'll like it. Yeah. So that kind of thing, folks. So the shy guy, 56 years old and all.
And she wants the shirt off.
Yeah, well, she's biased. So, put that back on because I'm the coach. I'm not the model. So plus I'm standing beside one of the top physiques in the world. So, you know, My ego's not that big. I know my place, damn it. So yeah, so that's another exercise you can try, and that has a huge fun factor in it as well.
Yeah,
right?
no, absolutely. The more variations, I think, the better when it comes to development.
I think so.
Like within reason.
I think so.
Yeah.
Any questions, comments coming in, Brian?
Lots of comments, all good stuff, but nothing in the way of questions yet.
Okay, good. So I think we showed the alternate curl variation from the past.
You know what? I'm not too sure. Well, let's do it anyways.
Building the ego. So I noticed, blank air. So one of the things I'm talking about alternate dumbbell curls, folks, all right, is how you do them, right? So boom, boom, boom. Notice I have a little bit of body English, and that's fine. What I'm also doing there is, in this example, I'm using a supination. So I'm starting with almost pronated, but not quite. And as I come up, I'm supinating. Now that is a variation if you're trying to lift more weight. But if you're trying to just isolate the bicep, and this is one that Andy's really good at, then you keep the baby fingers toward your thighs and the thumbs out the whole range of motion. And you can swing it less, and without turning it, you lift less, but you keep the tension on the biceps more. Show them how it's done, buddy. I watch Andy do this in the gym. It's pretty incredible. So, actually, I'll shoot you doing it from the front, and then you just stay there, Brian. We'll turn the bench to the side. So, show them the way you like to do it, Andy. So notice his baby fingers stay at the side at all times. The arm doesn't turn. So instead of his thumbs at his thighs at the bottom, he's got the baby fingers. Okay, just drop. I'm just going to, or stand up with the weights. I'm just going to turn it sideways so they can see it the way I see it in the gym. All right, there you go. Just, yeah, don't even have to face Brian. So get in on this, Brian, if you can.
And there's a difference between...
Not too close, just...
There's a difference between moving with your body and using your body
to move the weight. Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
Just show them how it's done, yeah.
You can use a little bit of body English. You don't have to be stiff like a board or anything. That's what we mean when we say pumping iron, right? So.
Yeah, and you can see everything working, and you can see the long head of his biceps always under tension that way. Whereas if he did the supinated option, the long head wouldn't be under tension anymore. So you would get arm work, but the work would be dispersed over all the muscles that are functioning for flexion, rather than just isolating like that. Beautiful. How's that look, Brian?
Super.
Yeah, there you go. All right, buddy. Quit showing off. So that's another variation. I think we've showed that one before. But again, subtleties. This is what we call Tweakology, right? So this is one of the things you want to make sure that you're thinking about when you're training, especially for development. And ladies, that includes you too. Ladies are so afraid of working their arms.
Oh, big time, man.
Yeah, and then they wonder why they have no tight and tone in their arms. So very important. You know, we're all about the innervation
training. What's going on with the triceps too? The bottom.
Yeah.
But they never do any direct arm work because they're afraid
they're gonna get big arms
pipes,
or
right?
big traps, and you can't look at the body that way. If the program's structured, you're just going to tone and tighten and shape and sculpt. I mean, that's the program we're doing, right?
Absolutely. You're not going to shape and sculpt on a treadmill or an elliptical. So.
Right, and I mean, you're here with me shooting Krista every week. Yeah. That's the ultimate example of tone and tighten, shape and sculpt, because Krista does no cardio at all, but she's not afraid to train her whole body, right? So that's important. So we'll get Krista live on here in one of these future sessions, but just... this old guy here, folks, I can only work so much in a week, and you guys are keeping me busy with these projects we got going on. So questions, comments, you look like you're searching there. Brian, go ahead, take it back.
What's the recommended angle on that bench there when you're working out? That?
Well, I mean, I just use this adjustable. You mean for the preacher? Is that what the person is asking?
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, this is an adjustable bench that I buy since I don't have a preacher curl, but any modern preacher curl should be at the right angle. So you don't want it too steep. You don't want it perpendicular, because then you might as well just use it for support. It's a concentration curl, really. Yeah. And you don't want it to slide down, because then you're going to do that movement too much with your shoulders. So, yeah, well, we don't mind the banging, Brian. That's okay. People get used to that. So,
I'm getting used to this camera. Where's Angie when I need her? Eh?
Yeah, just scroll up slowly. So, so that's a few training tweaks we just wanted to teach you folks. Nothing elaborate, just a little bit, and that was just arm stuff, so that's good. Questions on diet or fat loss, anything like that? Don't forget, absbyandy.com.
Check it out. Go check out the video.
It's out, and it's Killer Diller online. So,
Scott, can you talk about muscle balance / imbalance and asymmetry related to a scapular rotation?
I don't understand the last part. Is symmetry related to scapular rotation? I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay, I'm just reading it, baby.
No. I'll show you a scapular rotation, also called pull apart. You want to show them, buddy? Just you see me in the warm up doing scapular rotations all the time.
I like to do these
just
on chest days.
face the camera and then turn around and do it from the back. So I do it every day. So what you're going to do with the scapular rotation, folks, and if that's not heavy, you can pull it faster than that. You just pull the range of motion your body will give you. So you can go faster, just up to the top. And if you can go all the way down to your hips, that's how far you go. And the more you practice this, the more you'll be able to do that. So, excellent. A few more. So, it looks pretty freaky, I'm sure, with Andy doing it. Awesome. Good, good. All right. Now this, yes, and I'll let you to. This is also, folks, answers that lady's question about feeling shoulders when doing biceps. You should be doing some of this as part of your warm-up / prehab before you engage in arm work. Anything that's going to involve the joints that you're going to be training should be warmed up first. So arm swings warm you up, not just for the shoulders, but for bicep work, tricep work, etc. And you wanted to add?
Oh, yeah, another good one
Scapular
is,
lifts.
yeah, absolutely. So tuck your fists underneath your chin and press your baby fingers together. And then you're going to try to move your forearms as close together as you can while raising your arms up.
And slowly.
Great for your whole scapula.
Yes, and that'll lift the scapula. I mean, I do that, right? I do both of those movements every single day as part of my warm-up. Every single workout. I mean, your workout is only going to be as effective as the warm-up that precedes it. So I'm sure that's an able quote somewhere.
Oh, probably, yeah. There's a lot of ableisms.
Yeah, I'm sure that
warming up isn't 5 minutes on the treadmill. It's warming up.
How often we still see that, right? I mean, every day.
I don't get it. Like, it's just so much wasted time too. And it's just
waste of gym time is probably the biggest offense out there on why people don't get results, because they think it's just if they're in the gym for an hour, that should be enough. Well, no, it depends on what you're doing while you're in there. They don't have programs. They don't have good advice. They're not doing exercises correctly. For instance, today in the gym, two lovely ladies, obviously overweight, obviously with a lot of weight to lose. I'm in the same area with them, and I was done with a piece of equipment, leg equipment. And I said, oh, ladies, if you were waiting for this, go ahead. And they said, no, we're working chest today. And I saw them do 3 chest machines. Well, with that much weight to lose, they should be doing whole body work. Yeah. I didn't say anything, but why are they doing body part training? No. You want to optimize metabolism. You don't want to be worrying about, like, obviously a bodybuilder gave them some kind of workout, which, you know, again, it's like slotting the person into the workout rather than making the workout fit the person. Yeah. Makes no sense. But the same thing we see all the time, right? Someone comes into the gym, off they go to the bike or the treadmill, and like there's 10 minutes wasted gym time. So, and then they wonder why we're out of the gym so fast. I keep getting that all the time, right? You done already? Yeah, I'm done already. Yeah.
So long.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to live in the gym, and I'm not here to impress you. So that's what expertise offers, is time saving. So go ahead, Brian.
Joe wants to know what your thoughts are on concentration curls.
Take it, Brian. Show them both variations. I saw you doing the Arnold variation.
It's a great movement. Yeah, I prefer to do them standing up, kind of like Arnold did. And
sure, you can hold on to this if you want, or whatever. Thanks, Brian. You can turn.
Normally, you can sit down on a bench. Biggest thing, you just want to keep your legs wide, keep your back straight as you bend over. Nice, comfortable bend in your knees. Use your opposite hand for support on your opposite knee. And let the dumbbell hang. That's the biggest thing. Hanging and banging, that's where that comes from. So, and again, you don't have to be stiff like a board on this. You can move.
Yeah, sure.
Move with your body, so you can kind of lean into it, and then.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a little body English. Knowing how he's coming up and down with it. You getting that, Brian? Doesn't that look pretty wild? You want to do it maybe facing the front more, facing, yeah, like that. Like turn it around to face them.
I'll move a little bit.
Okay, all right, you move a little. Just do it regular and then. Great. And now show him the Zotman variation. Now watch this. This is another example of Tweakology. Look how he just turned his arm and watch the difference.
Yeah, I did these yesterday.
Boom. 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 Now you're just emphasizing the outside of the arm more than the inside of the arm. It's just as effective. Now here's the other thing. Stay with us. I know they're not going to see your bicep doing this, and the question was concentration curl. But now we've got what we call residual secondary effects, secondary supportive effects. So just turn the other way and do the same movement so I can make a point here. So they're not going to see your bicep. Don't worry about it. Just do the same movement. Boom. Boom. All right, you just stay there, Brian. That's good.
Okay.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. Now, the reason I had Andy do that, by doing his concentration curl standing and bending over like this, he creates hip hinge stabilization effects. And what does that mean? It means his glutes have to work to support his upper body moving in that weird range and plane of motion. So he's getting a secondary benefit by doing that standing. He's getting tight glutes. His glutes are forcing him to create a certain balance, and that works the hip hinge joint as well. Just by doing the concentration curl standing, okay, has to have glute support. All right, and you're probably not even aware of that.
No, definitely not.
And that's why he gets a nice, tight, round, supermodel butt, because he can do things like that and get a secondary effect that most people don't think of.
Yeah.
So they go to a concentration curl and they sit down on a bench. Well, especially for ladies who want to work for tight toned glutes, maybe do their concentration curl standing up the way you just did. So there's another added benefit of doing things with a little Tweakology. I would like to say the able body way, but I do the sitting down because of my age and stuff. And you just taught the ladies another one. So that's an Andy tweak. That's not a Scott tweak. I only take credit for things that I can take credit for. But you'll get secondary effects in the glutes just by being in that position. So there you go. You can put that back.
And I think so many people think that, anytime you bend over that it's automatically bad for your back. But if you do it properly, it shouldn't be bad for your back. It should help strengthen it, right? So,
and it's the same thing, it's the same old argument, right? If you're never going to do anything bent over, then your back just stays weak.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're not doing anything to strengthen it, why are you surprised when it's weak? You need to come back here, buddy. You're too tall for that tiny little camera. So that's another great point as well. People will say that about their knees, right? I've had reconstructive surgery. I can't do any lower body work. Really? There's NFL football stars who have had complete knee reconstruction twice.
Gronkowski,
and
he's still running down the field.
And how do they do that? Because they get back at it, all right? If you avoid the area, then all the muscles around it just stay weak.
Yep.
And then you're always going to feel like you're weak in that area. So you got to get back to proper training. So prehab, rehab, support work, things like that. Very important. What else we got, Brian?
Humor's checked in. Could you possibly highlight the proper way of doing Zotman curls?
Yeah, well, here's where I get the younger generation telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. I learned from Bill Pearl, who learned from Zotman himself. Now,
Mr. Zotman.
Mr. Zotman. Look, you'll see online, this is not how they'll say to do it online. To us, this is a Zotman curl, right?
Some people call it a cross-chest hammer curl. Right?
Cross-chest hammer curl.
It's a Zotman curl, yeah.
You can call it that. I'd be okay with that. I was taught that's a Zotman curl. Show them. And then I'll tell you why this bothers me so much. And probably show them with the other arm. I don't care. You show them with whatever arm.
I'll do both.
Bigger than me.
Yeah, and lean into it. Any bicep exercise, you always want a slight lean to get that full stretch. And then, again, you can use...
Yeah.
A little bit of body English. You don't have to be, stiff like a board.
Hit the other one. Yeah, just briefly. And the heavier you get, you hold your arm on your hip for counterbalance support. There you go. Perfect. Now that's what we call a one-arm Zottman curl in the Abel family, because that's how I learned it from the best. This day and age, it's a weird, funky permutation where a Zottman curl is you come up and then you turn your arm and it makes no sense. I mean, I don't know where all this turning of it doesn't even make sense if you're trying to keep tension on the muscle.
No,
so
definitely.
I'm not even going to demo it, but if you search Zottman curl, you're going to see this new modern funky mutation of what was really a Zottman curl. So for explanation points and to save argument with idiots, just say cross chest hammer curl, all right? So nothing exhausts me more than arguing with idiots. So, all right, folks, what else we got?
Well, Scott, Stephen wants to know a little bit about how many miles you might walk in a day.
Oh, I don't. Walking for me is for this and for this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I
sure.
just like being out in the. Listen, Brian will agree. Brian's our cameraman, folks. Can't live without him. Andy will agree, and I will tell you, we live in Canada's version of paradise. We live in Canada's version of Hawaii. Kelowna is to Canada what Hawaii is to the U.S. So as soon as the weather turns here, I'm out after a workout to have a power walk to clear my head. You know, there's a vast amount of stuff going on in here all the time. So I just walk to clear my head. I would vulgarize and bastardize who I am as a person if I started wearing a step tracker or any of those kind of things. So for me, it's not the distance traveled, it's the experience I'm having traveling it. So hopefully that makes sense. It's a bit of a Zen thing, so let me say that again. It's not the distance I travel, it's the experience I'm having by traveling it. Sometimes it's just getting rid of stress from personal things going on that I can't do anything about. So I'm processing it rather than some people eat their emotions. All right, I process mine. So my walk is all about this and this. So my legs are just sort of carrying me. My legs are just the vehicle. It's like sitting in a car and driving down, Highway 1 on the Pacific Highway in the States. All right, the car's the vehicle, but what you're experiencing is by looking out the window. So for me, it's the same thing. So it's a great question. Don't get me wrong. It's just not the way this brain thinks. I don't think in terms of numbers like that because I think it bastardizes the whole experience. So go ahead.
Yeah, same thing. I definitely don't look at it as exercise. I have a dog to walk to, Bob, over there.
Well,
so
let me. I just told you to talk, but see, this is the thing. I can't imagine Andy going out for a walk with Bob and then stopping to check his pedometer or stopping to, I got to make it to the following. Now, I do have a couple walks where I have a distance in mind where I go and I touch a thing and I come back. But Bob,
come here, Bob.
Bob, come here, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to introduce you to Bob. So let me get rid of the bench and you can have Bob do his thing. Hi, buddy.
Here, Bob. Yeah, so Bob and I, we always go out for a walk first thing in the morning, and it's always our alone time together. We just, there's always lots of stuff to see. We see deer, we see coyotes, we see the odd bald eagle.
Quail.
Lots of quail, so it's more just get out in nature. I'm not thinking exercise or calorie burning at all.
What about Bob? So as you know, folks, or as you might tell, get up. Come on, get up.
Kiss my ass.
As you can see here, folks, it takes a nice guy to have a nice dog. And Bob does not practice the fitness lifestyle.
Nope.
Bob's a big fat fatty. And that's because he eats Andy's leftovers on cheat day. And
pizza crust,
you feed him pizza crust and stuff. But we love Bob, right? So, what's that old saying, folks? The more people I'm involved with, the more I love my dog. Well, there you go. Bob's a good example of that because Bob loves everybody. Don't you, Bob?
He's pretty social. He tries to get into other people's cars when they open the doors, and
he couldn't wait to get out on my deck today. So, they'll probably finish with by introducing you guys to Bob, folks. So. Hopefully you like Bob on camera. Hopefully you love him as much as we love having him. So this is Bob. This is Bob. And as you can see, he's all about how much affection he can get at one time. he's kind of teaching me that art as well. So I'm all about that too. So any other questions or comments, Brian?
There is something here.
Okay.
Do you recommend a 5x5 program for people interested in both strength and body development?
Sure. But
do you have other suggestions for athletes pursuing both? Well,
look, it has to be, the key word there is program. It has to be an actual program. So that's the problem. Most people are doing 5x5 and it's not part of any kind of structure.
In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. You're on a variation of a 5x5 right now. So you can tell them a little bit about that. A little bit. I don't want to give away my program.
It's definitely a blend of hypertrophy and strength training. So I don't want to give away too much, but it's more 3x5 right now.
Yeah.
But
it's at the end of it.
Yeah, it's at the end of a hypertrophy workout and working
for a different body part.
An opposing muscle group. So
what Andy's on a kind of program that I've developed where, who knows, it might even turn into a product that works really well.
I've been liking it.
Yeah, so he'll do something like 12 to 15 sets for back, but he'll finish with 3x5 for chest. Right, and then and it's the vice versa the next time. And,
So
is it legs and shoulders?
Legs and shoulders. Yeah.
So after he finishes 12 to 15 sets for legs, he does 3x5 of shoulder press later in the week. But it's all how it's programmed. Now, of course, that flips over when it's legs and shoulders, and then shoulders and legs. Then he does his by 5 work for the legs. So
not to failure though. A lot of
never
people,
to failure.
You know, they'll do sets of 5, and then but they're actually using too much weight, right? And they're pushing it. I mean, the goal should be weight constants when you're doing sets of 5. So
good point.
You want to use the same weight for all sets, right? So
the weight that's challenging, but not to failure.
Yeah.
So that's the sweet spot.
You'll actually get stronger doing that.
So that was another fantastic question. Great question, folks. Great question. What else, Brian? Nothing else?
That's about it for today.
I'm going to go do some curls with Bob because he'll let me. We're going to curl Bob the dog and turn that into an exercise tweak because there's stranger things than that online, of course.
No, probably.
Folks, if you like the show, by all means, throw us some hearts and some thumbs up. Not for our egos are just fine. But apparently Facebook really likes that. And Facebook's kind of has this new algorithm that kind of screws people like me in terms of our reach. This is just a secret between us. They choke your reach the more popular you get so that less people see it because they want you to buy advertising in order to get a bigger reach. And that sucks and it's not fair. And mind you, by saying that I could get kicked off of Facebook. So anyway, that's what's going on. And Facebook loves hearts and thumbs and all that stuff. So throw them across the screen, and by all means, every time we come live, hit the share button. Any parting comments?
Abs by Andy.
Absbyandy.com. Absbyandy.com. Been out how long now? 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks. So,
still
our first project together as partners, and huge one coming down the line with the Hard Gainer Solution, my book.
We're almost done filming
We're turning that into a course as well, because people just wanted more. So we're happy to bring it. And then 2 projects coming down the pike with the lovely Krista. And I'll give you her contact info next time. I'm not sure of it myself, on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm sure you've seen me doing exercises with her as well. So you'll see like a very pleasing aesthetic female form the way it should be,
definitely,
without being extreme. And so I got 2 projects coming up with Krista. So busy summer for me, folks, between podcasts and shooting with all these model types. I'm busy and my ego's crushed. So stay tuned, folks, for the next time. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and we'll be back next week. And I'll be here Sunday, Breakfast with the Coach. But every Thursday, it's the Coach and Andy show. Doesn't get much better than this.